Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Lisa. I'm spiritual coach Lisa Hop. It is Sunday, April 26, 2020. If you're new to my podcast, thank you so much for finding me. Please go to my website at lisahop.com. That's LISAHOPP.com for all of my services, most now available through telephone and Zoom. And all of my upcoming events, because I will be starting events again, hopefully, in the upcoming summer months. If you're coming back, thank you so much. I hope you know how grateful I am for the support and for the positive energy. And even any feedback you want to give me, I do appreciate it. As I was getting on today, I was thinking, maybe I should have an introductory song in some way. Nothing too jarring because it's Sunday morning and it should be relaxing and easy and quieter. But I did think about that. If you think I should too and you have any suggestions, please feel free to let me know. But for now, thank you again for joining me. So an earlier podcast that I've done, I confess that sometimes I don't think about my topic until like 30 minutes before I get on. And here's another day. As I was lying in bed this morning, I had no idea what I was going to talk about today. And I'm still piecing it together. So you may find a bit of a rambling podcast this morning, but I find that everything plays out the way it should. It comes together. So hopefully we'll do that as well. But I do have a couple things in mind to start with. The first thing is I want to let you know if right now you are in a part of the world, part of the country, like me, where we're locked down, where not everyone is employed, or you have a business that can't be running right now. I just want you to know, for whatever it's worth, that you're not alone. And we're in this together, but we're not in this together the same. I'm very fortunate right now, excuse me, that when we first, about 5 weeks ago, perhaps now, when we first went under lockdown and I knew that it would be right to close my office, I did experience a cut, and it was a very scary time because I didn't know what would happen. But thankfully, things have regained balance again, and I'm having a really great time with Zoom, and I'm having a really great time with the increased telephone sessions I'm conducting. And the wonderful thing is, it's not my previous return clients that are coming back. I'm getting new clients for the most part that are finding me. And so, yes, the human side of me says, where are my clients that do come to see me or come to an event every 3 months, 6 months, perhaps a little bit longer at times? Where are they? But at the same time, I'm doing fine because I'm getting so many new, and there's so much positive about that. Of course, I want to grow my practice and have new people, and so I'm grateful. I'm very grateful, but I do hope that some of my previous clients return again as well, much more so than they already are. And some are, and I thank you very much for doing that. I do appreciate you. I'm always grateful. Every time an appointment is booked, I say thank you to the universe, source, the energy around me, and to them as well. Of course, it's important. It's important because gratitude is such a thriving energy. And during this time, for some of us that are having to hit our 401ks or have to get in line of food bank because they haven't been working and the funds aren't coming through yet. You know, some people have not gotten the stimulus check. Some people have not received the unemployment benefit or can't apply for the unemployment benefit because they're self-employed, or didn't get the PPP fund because it was all dried up at first. It's a difficult time, but I want to ask you that all thoughts and all positive energy and all understanding and just prayers are with you to get through this time. And whether you realize it or not, there is a purpose to this time. There's a larger purpose there's a larger purpose for our world as a whole. But for you personally, even though it doesn't look that way right now, there's a larger purpose for you as well. Those of you who are going through these tightening times, perhaps it's just perseverance that's being grown, that you'll use later. Perhaps it's faith. Perhaps it's hope. All of those should be in play. And it's so imperative during our toughest times to have hope and faith and endurance and perseverance. Because even though you may not see it when you're in the thick of it, the reward for it will come around later. And so that's so important to keep in mind. And for any small moment that you can, gratitude. And know, as a human being, as someone who is understanding and empathetic, I'm not saying to you that you should just be grateful for this time and suck it up and get through it. No, these are such compellingly hard times for people. And I understand. And you have a right to be scared, to be angry. You have even a right to have no hope, no faith, no gratitude. But I'd like to say that if you can drum up any gratitude, hope, faith, you will see the payback for it later, I promise you. I can. Because I know how that wonderful heavenly energy works. I know how it works. And what we put out, we get back. We may not get it back the next day, or the next hour, or the next week. But one day, you will be able to look back and see how you were helped through it, and also how much you grew and were able to help yourself through it. But for now, see what you can do to increase your hope, to increase your faith, to increase your gratitude, and try to reach out for the help that you need. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. Nothing wrong with getting in a food bank line or even asking a neighbor for help. I saw a neighbor yesterday that I haven't done much more than wave to for months, but we happened to be more than 6 feet away in our own backyards. I saw her across the way, so I screamed out to her. So we came closer, still having to talk quite loudly because we were pretty far apart. But I made a point to not only catch up with her, but also to say to her, if you need something, say something. I'm right here. And she understood that. And I would want her to understand that. Ask for help. Take what is yours, what is your right. You don't have to be going through this alone. And for those of you who are going through a loss at this time, who have lost loved ones to either the virus or other causes, I cannot find the appropriate words to tell you how very sorry I am for that. Because you will not get the comfort that normally is given to you through other times. You will not be able to have the normal funeral, the normal gathering. See, when we get to gather together when we have a loss, we receive comfort by being around others who are suffering too. We get to hug each other. We get to console each other, and you're missing out on that right now. And I have said to God, why couldn't you just halt it all until we could do it rightfully, until we can be able to send off our loved ones in the way that brings us the most comfort, but in the way we know they deserve. Now, your loved ones are fine. They're with you. They're at peace. They're home. But they also want us to have comfort. They want us to be okay. Sometimes myself, I don't understand why the world has to work the way it does. But, as I said to you, I am afforded the gift of often looking back and going, oh, okay, I see it now. I'll be talking to someone and they'll give me their story, and I'll see how that moment enhanced their path, even though it was so painful in the moment in which it was lived. I suppose the only thing we can do when we are losing people is to do our own global way. It's not the same, but somehow do try to get together, whether it be a speaker call or a Zoom or a Skype, to somehow give ourselves a little bit of that camaraderie to help us through that difficult time. So just please know that if you have lost someone recently, that I'm aware it's a difficult time. And I can't imagine. I even thought myself regarding some of my loved ones, please hold on, not now. But I know it's not up to me, it's up to their will. And when we pass, it's between our will surrendering and heaven being ready for us. And unfortunately, for those of us left behind, we really don't have a say. We don't. All we can do is take care of ourselves to the best of our ability and turn to those who care about us and can help us through. And I hope that those of you who have experienced loss are doing that. But back to my topics today. And that is the importance of having hope, faith, and gratitude at this time. You might have to reach very long, very extended. You may have to go beyond. You might have to be superhuman and reach and reach and reach for a moment to be grateful for. Maybe that moment is when you're sitting in your car in a food bank line, or sitting in your car getting tested. Maybe the moment's just when you lie down at night to finally get some sleep. Maybe it's a moment when the kids are napping. Maybe it's just a moment that you realize that you got through another day. In the morning when you wake up and you're still breathing. In order to enhance gratitude, grow gratitude, hope, faith, resilience. Take each moment at a time, one moment at a time. Don't overwhelm, don't worry, don't have anxiety as much as possible. Anxiety and worry come from thinking about the future. Excuse me. It's all very casual here. Had a little air bubble there for a moment. The only time we experience worry and anxiety, and I don't mean clinical anxiety, that's I'm not really going there because that's more clinical. But the normal anxiety that we can get about what will the future bring, the what ifs, that all comes from thinking about a future that we don't know what's going to happen yet. We're thinking about the what ifs. We're thinking about the worst case scenarios. We're worried about those things we don't feel we have control over, such as what's happening with our children or our grandchildren because we're not with them right now. We don't know everything. Right now, we don't know we may be able to go back to work fully. So that unknowing, that lack of security, that causes us worry and it causes us anxiety. I want you not to do that as much and as hard as it is, as difficult as it is. I want you to get up each day and take it day by day. On Monday, you concentrate on Monday. On Tuesday, you concentrate on Tuesday. On Wednesday, you concentrate on Wednesday. And yes, know what day it is. I am working and I still, it's hard for me to know what day it is. What month it is. They're all blending, aren't they? I want you to concentrate on the day, and if you're masterful enough, I want you to concentrate just on moment by moment. If you do that, you'll see the miracles. You'll see the synchronicities. Synchronicities are God's involvement in your life. Synchronicities was once said that they were whispers from God. That's what I call them. It's true. They're guidance. So for instance, when you see the same thing or hear the same thing 3 times in a row or more, that's heaven talking to you. When you need something by the 1st and it comes through on the 30th, that's God. When you suddenly get the connection, the help, and you didn't know how you would get it, but suddenly you've gotten it. Whether it be knowing what number to call or what line to get in, that's God. And this is a spiritual program. And I know whether you call it God, whether you call it source, whether you call it universe, there's an energy that I feel through my own evidence of living, evidence attained while living. I know that is a very interactive energy around us. It responds to us. I think it responds to us consciously. Not all the time, by the way. There is a natural energy that brings forward. There's natural laws of the universe, such as gravity, For instance, that law that what you put out, you get back. That's a natural law. You can call it karma. You can call it the law of attraction. You can call it the law of love. You can call it the law of the mind. There's different names for it, but it's natural. That's not God-based. That's not a conscious source responding to you. That happens on autopilot. That's why it's so important to watch your thoughts and to watch your words and to watch your feelings, because you get it back. So if you're someone, and I don't think you are if you're listening to me, but if you're someone who naturally is negative, you're going to get more to be negative about. Your life's going to continue to be a domino effect of negativity. Things will not work out for you. People around you get more than you. Things will work out for them. You'll say, see, things work out for those people, or they get more than me. Well, it's because that's what you're thinking. It's what you're feeling, because you're in a negative state of mind. But when you're in a more grateful, positive, hopeful state of mind, you may still struggle. You probably will, because we're here to learn, grow, and expand. But at some point, the current will come around back to you, and that help will arrive, that energy will arrive. The balance will happen. The temperance will happen. So in other words, if you continue no matter what to be resilient, it will pay off. To be positive, to be hopeful, to be grateful. You can't keep attracting negative things if you're in a state of gratitude. At some point, you'll see rewards. And so it's so important to keep in mind. So that's natural law. That's not what I'm talking about right now. What I'm talking about is synchronicity. Or not all synchronicity. Synchronicity is also natural law, a bit at work too. But I'm talking about that conscious interaction. The prayers that are answered. Heaven will answer it also with synchronicities and signs. Much like your loved ones will answer with signs, such as coins dropping around you, or butterflies, or lights flickering around you abnormally. That's your departed loved ones using their energy to impact the environment to let you know they're there. Because when we pass, when we're on earth, we're energy locked in a physical body. But when we pass, we let go of our physical body. We shed it. And we're only the spirit and the soul now, rather than the physical senses and body as well. We keep love, but we lose with the physical body fear and anxiety and worry and pain and all those struggles that we go through that are because of our physical body. Think about that. Your physical body gives you a lot to deal with, and all that is taken away when our body surrenders and decides it doesn't want to be used anymore. Then we become the being that we are fully. We're let out of the cage. We're free. Which is why they often use butterflies as a sign to let you know they're free and that you're okay too. And so, natural law can use synchronicities, but so does that God source. So do your angels. They're talking to you. They're answering your prayer. But oftentimes, and you've been doing this lately, some of you, we're so wrapped up in the reality of our lives that we completely miss it. Or we notice it, but we don't allow it to help us feel good. We kind of acknowledge it, but we keep rolling in our steady stream, our locked in feelings and what we see as our reality. So, for instance, when you're going through, let's say you've lost your job, and you have all the reality of that. And every day at 3 o'clock, you see 11:11 or 8:88, and you notice it, but you kind of shelve it. I notice it, but I'm going to shelve it because I'm going to focus on my reality that right now I don't have a job. Understandable. But that synchronistic sign every day of those numbers appearing at certain times are telling you help's on the way, and that the doors of heaven have opened up to assist you. They're waving at you saying, hang in there. In good time, you'll be okay, but we're also sending you help. But we'll notice it, but we'll ignore it because it's not our, quote, reality. Physical reality is not really reality at all in the long run. Hear me out. Physical reality, there's a purpose to it, but underlying always is a real reality. That the purpose of that reality is in some way a way for you to grow, expand, endure. And the reality is, it's almost like it's a play. It's a play playing out in front of you, this physical reality. To take from it what you need to grow. But if you want to change the writing, if you want to change the next act, all you have to do is use the true reality of being able, the gift that you have of turning to Source and saying, this is occurring, but I trust in you can help me change it. Turn this around, and your next act can change. So the real reality is that you have the power to ask for help every day. And there is a greater power than even you that can step in and help. And if it doesn't at first and you've asked for it, it means you're meant to go through something for a short while. But more often than not, the reason why you don't see it around you is either you're not noticing it, you're not noticing it, or it's waiting for you to ask for the help. And that's all you have to do. And you only have to pray once. And pray once, and then live in gratitude, hope, and faith. Unrelenting, strong. And you'll see your situation turn around. When at first, my clients didn't seem to be appearing all that much, and the ones that were there wanted to cancel, just a one or two, I had to turn to my highest self. I refused to live in a state of fear and anxiety. And I'm always willing, and I think it's right, to be a team member. So I got a meeting together with my God Source, and I said, all right, let's have a meeting. I want you to come through here, and what do I have to do? Give me the signs. Let me know. I'll look for the answers through synchronicity and other divine ways, and we'll change this. And they gave me inspired ideas. First, I made sure, be very clear. I want to be very clear here. I made sure not to go into desperation mode because I knew that was lacking in faith. So I didn't suddenly cut my rates. I made sure to not do that at first, because to go into desperation mode, I know, is to say there's lack. I don't have faith. I don't have hope. So I didn't do that at first. What I did do at first was think about other services, introduce Zoom, and become comfortable with doing Zoom, because I have to say, using Zoom for my sessions was new to me. And I didn't know how it was going to go, but I knew it had to go. And it had to be the same as in person. And it has been. And I'm very grateful. I actually love Zoom. And so that had to come around. That had to be implemented. And then eventually, when I did for a very short while give a discount, it was only on certain appointments, and it was as a gift. And it's no longer now, but I didn't do it out of, oh my God, I have to cut all my rates, so I have to hope they feel they can afford it, I have to survive. I didn't do that because I knew that that would work against me. I had to hold on to the knowing that all my needs were met and more, that I was abundant, that how it looked in my physical life was not my reality. That's what I'm saying. How it may look in your physical life is a physical reality, yes, but it's not the full reality. The full reality is that there are things working behind the scenes for you. There are helpers behind the scenes who are joyful in service to you, and all you have to do is call a meeting. That's it. And then be willing to do what they ask of you through signs, synchronicities, but happily they'll take most of the work. They'll do most of the work. So I got my creative bursts, and I offered a couple smaller appointments, but not too much of a price cut, just smaller timed appointments as a source of help to people. See where I'm coming from? Not I need to put everything on sale. I offered it as a source of help. Here's a 10-minute audio from your loved ones, rather than you being strapped down to an hour of your time during a day when you don't really have it because maybe the kids are there, or you're worried, you don't know if you should do it. But my clients have loved the 10 minutes because it's like a shout out from heaven. And so I don't know how long I'll do things like that, or it's little service winks. But it was important during this time to ask, how may I serve? As I always do, how may I serve? I don't want to be free. I don't want to come from a place of lack or fear. Tell me, how may I serve? And then amazingly, not only did I get more new clients, the clients that I have had came in and said, I'm going to tip you. A lot of them, I'm going to tip you, and I'm not going to I'm going to pay you full price for this gift that you're trying to give. No, I'm going to give it back to you. Amazing. And I was very grateful, because I would tell them, you get a break here. You didn't use it, but I have to tell you, you get a break. And they went, no, I don't want the break. Take it. See that help in action? I was willing to serve, and I got abundantly paid back twice over. Because I came from a place of, let's call the meeting, how may I serve? I believe that you will help me through this. Hope, faith, gratitude. And some of us are in our darkest hour right now. Just ask for help. It's there. And it may surprise you who comes through. I'm always surprised during these times where I'm in my darkest hour, who is there and who's not. But I've learned that most of the time people care. We just get surprises from who comes through in the most needed way. So know that your team is at the ready to have that meeting with you, to give you the signs, to give you the answers, to work things out. And it may be at the 11th hour. But you all have a team. You all have a team. And I remind you, I understand, because I am in this human world. And so now I sit here, and I went from, let's get this over with, hopefully it's only 2 weeks, no one's booking, everything is stalled. How can I handle this? I'm going to handle it this way. 2, I better make sure I block off time so I'm not working too much. See? It paid off. Gratitude, hope. Some of you will come out of this time realizing you can work from home. Some of you will come out of this time being prepared to never experience this time the same way again. You'll be ready next time. I'm not saying necessarily it's going to be a time just like this again. But whatever it may mean for you, a lot of us have grown into superheroes during these couple of months, and that will serve you in your future. You'll be at the ready. Now some, yes, have not learned a thing. Some are still the same people they were. And we're all evolving. We're all heading into higher energy. And so eventually they will as well. But this was to be a time when, notice it, that we're here to serve each other. Notice it. It's happening. The helpers are there. And so this was a time for us to see this. It was a time to give the earth a rest. It was time for us to see how basic we can live. To get back to basics in more ways than one. To get the family time we wanted. We've always asked for. This is a very divine time. But each step along the way, look for the synchronicities, look for the whispers, look for the answers. Keep hope, faith, gratitude alive. Even if you have to pull it to get it. Just a little bit will go a long way. Well, I've talked to you for about 40 minutes, and I value your time. So I'm going to let you go for today. Well, please remember that you're not alone, and I would never say that I'm experiencing the same life as you. And I would never be cavalier about your experience. But one thing about me that you can trust is that if I tell you that hope and belief and faith and prayer work, I would never lead you down a wrong road. Try it. Even if you have it today, increase it. And feel free to let me know if you see it helping, because I love those stories. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. And I'm due for a video. I've been kind of feeling, well, I've been catching up on work actually, and also not really been feeling video excited, but I am getting called back. So look for that on YouTube. And you never, every day I'm creating. So please go to my website. Please also go to my Facebook business page under Lisa M. Hobb, Spiritual Coach, because there's always something popping up, because I am an ever creating being, and you never know what I might come up with every day. But thank you again. I wish you health, wealth, support, and love, and many blessings. You deserve it. They are yours to receive. Ask. Thank you again. Take care, and have a beautiful Sunday no matter where you are.